Oh,
wait a sec.
YouTube, where are we broadcasting it? Where's our comments coming from?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
YouTube.
We're up. Mike.
Yep, ready.
Go.
Nick Costa, episode 164. With Nick Costa, we're going to do our first song. What do you got for us?
Well, let's see. I chose a couple instrumentals. This one is called Banker's Hill. It's just a 3-chord jam. It's got those classic 16th notes on the drums here. So I'll bring it in here with Jake.
Very nice. I'm gonna way back. I'm gonna listen. You know, I'm gonna try to be complimentary, if you will. Awesome. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We got Nick Costa, episode 164. We haven't been here for a while. So happy to be back. Special vibe, special show. We got Nick Costa here, and you probably noticed Mr. Jake Najor on drums. What a treat tonight. We got no lights happening, except for these lights. But man, I'm a little bit lost of words. Jason Thomas, San Diego's favorite co-host. He's back in action. What do you got, Jason?
Well, I don't know.
I know
it's
why.
good to be back. I mean,
It's kind of hard.
I'm happy to be here playing with Mr. Nick and especially Mr. Najor here. It's been a while since we've had the show running, or at least for both of us in the same room for a while.
Careful your head, dude.
What?
You got a TV right above you.
I know. I'm not.
You might get a little excited because you're gonna hit some good notes tonight. Just make sure you stay
got
in your,
it.
yeah.
But no, I'm very pleased to be back. I'm glad that we've got this thing rolling again. I know it's been a while, and I'm actually happy that our first live show with drums and everything are back with Mr. Jake.
I know, right?
And
Jake.
Mr. Nick here.
Also, let's give a nice shout out to Dave Wright from Sound
SWR
Right Recordings.
Productions.
Can't do it without you, Dave. We've missed you. We've loved you.
We haven't hit the sponsors in a long time.
Well,
either,
the sponsors, yeah. Why don't you go ahead?
I'll just say Kurt Megan Strings and Electric Ed from Mad Hatter.
I know. I had to get the when we do the camera 5. I had to make sure we get a little bit of reps, a little bit of props. So
Right there.
Right
Got
on.
it.
but we're lean and mean these days. Back the last time you were on this show, we were kind of running about 5 or 6 sponsors. So now that we're back in action, happy to sit next to you.
Yeah,
last
man.
time it's been a year since we hung out.
It's been a while, yeah.
We're always making plans like, hey, we gotta hang out.
I
But,
know I feel like the pandemic it changed my life.
Dude.
I know it's changed everybody's life. Obviously, that's kind of a stupid statement, but like you can tell that the scene is not as vibrant. Maybe that's my personal opinion.
You
in
mean
San
now,
Diego.
like when you're out gigging, is how you're like receptive to like the audience, or
No, just the. It seems like before the pandemic, the jam session scene and just like the layout of musicians going around town was more vibrant. Nowadays, it's a little bit. It seems like where's that jam session? Oh, it's there. Like
yeah,
you know what I mean.
what
Like
you're
you have to really be proactive and find out where these spots are. And I don't know. It might just be just this change.
You're not talking about Barrio Star, are you?
No,
I don't. I'm just messing with you. I'm just.
Yeah, they
messing
never
with
do
you.
jam sessions there, but yeah.
Well, we got a lot to talk about. Nick is also a guitar teacher. I wouldn't say we're in competition, but we're both in competition. Sometimes we have some of the same students.
Maybe. Have we?
Yeah, John Garvey is.
Oh yeah,
is
John
somewhere
Garvey.
between us.
Yeah.
The one that buys all our concert tickets for us.
Yeah, he's a good friend. Yeah, he's good. He's a good dude.
Steve's brother,
Yeah, Steve's brother, exactly. Another fellow Padre fan.
Is he really? Is
No.
no. Okay.
No.
So I feel like I don't know if he's like inside. Oh, see.
Well, you got to remember, I was telling you earlier, I'm so happy to see Jake. Like half the time, Jake and I are doing small talk or talking business. What we like to do is just go into our John Hughes or our North Shore commentary.
Or 80s,
Right.
80s
Weren't we
references.
supposed to do like a North Shore band?
What's that one classic? I don't know. He used to say it all the
God,
time.
he deserves a
The North.
light.
Yeah.
It's not the wave or something. I don't know. Something you said, and I just remember being like, "Oh, that's a classic Jake Najor quote," because he would throw those out too. Yeah.
It's cool. We'll get there. Maybe I should save this for after the second song, but you're getting quite prolific. You have your own music, My Mind, all capital letters, MYNYND, right?
Right. Yeah.
On
Spelled wrong.
Spotify, spelled wrong. You just came out with an EP or some new singles.
It was essentially like a hybrid. It was an album, so I think it was. I had let's see, if I had just 8 songs, I think that's considered an album too.
Yeah,
but I had
that's
4.
That's an album.
Yeah, that's an album, a small album. But then I had 4 counterpart instrumentals from singing.
And that's
songs.
what you use as bait.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bait. I'm all about the
So,
bait.
are you using DistroKid? Are you
No, when I put that out, I used just what is it? CD Baby.
Right, it's kind of cool, like having a publishing account where you have once you sign up, they give you a menu like how to operate. Like, oh, you have 8 songs coming out, but you can use one and bait the audience and do like a 6-week campaign.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
doesn't it
what
all
you do
that?
is you usually do singles, right? I mean, I think the thing is with that is typically it's like you want to release just like a 45, 2 singles, and then the album, right? And then
or a split.
or a split, yeah. And then the other thing was just like people releasing singles individually, like a whole album, just like single. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't really know what's popular right now in terms of, you know, do you release singles or albums really good? I just wanted to put a group of songs that I had in my mind, and I had specific riffs that were in my head.
Was that a pun intended right there?
What?
In my mind.
Yeah, well, you know, there's no.
You're capitalizing that.
It
on
really
brilliance.
is. I mean, I think that's where it came from. Everything. I mean,
You know,
we can all relate.
You know, another probably one of my favorite things about you.
Please tell me.
Follow him on Instagram because aside from music, you're pretty funny, man.
Aw.
You know, the whole like when you'll do characters, you'll put on wigs, you'll talk like a girl, you'll imitate your girlfriend or
my mom.
or your mom, a scenario.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
Yeah, I you know.
So I get it.
I appreciate that. I think it's, you know, like sometimes I get insecure about like I hope you know, it's the whole idea of, I think I have an issue of just like care, like I think anybody is, this is a humanistic thing where you just worry about what other people think but you don't want to a certain extent, right? You don't want to live in La La Land, but you know, you don't want to care too much, otherwise you would just get stopped.
You're obviously
in your
doing
tracks.
it for a reason. It's like somewhere between like being funny because like maybe Jake or Jason and I are gonna like, oh my God, like you're always getting, you know, the likes of me.
I like to get reactions out of people, but good reactions. I don't like to like piss people off, but I like to have fun and see people laugh. I like to laugh. I've been going to a lot of open mic nights every Tuesday downtown. I'm not going up there for comedy.
Oh.
Yes, do not guitar
Dude,
or anything.
I would love to to go visit or be the heckler for you.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, it's really like it's a great place to really get your, as I'm pouring, but yeah. It's a great place to get your chops going. I mean, there's so many people there. And it's kind of almost overwhelming. You're like, holy shit.
You're going up on stage?
No, I'm not yet. I'm just going every Tuesday.
where
It's downtown
Right.
at American Comedy Club every Tuesday from 8
So we should
to
go.
10 or 11.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a great time. The vibe there is really cool, and it's.
Do you hang out with some of the comedians?
I haven't really met, like, I haven't got in touch with some of the comedians, but I see a lot of the similar people. So, like, in other words, I might get closer to being like, hey, what's up? You know, introducing myself and maybe just kind of seeing what they, like, what was your first time like? You know, and they might maybe help me. Because I kind of want to do that, but I'm still so focused on music and teaching and trying to get good at this thing.
But as you should.
You know? So.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Like, you're very funny. You're good at it. Do you find that since you're posting that on what's the name? What's your handle on Instagram?
Nick Costa, my mind.
Okay. Do you think it's a little bit of a dismount, or do you think it's an accessory to the music?
I think I don't think I posted enough that would be like warrant where it's like, okay, what is this guy doing?
Man,
You know
that
what I
one
mean?
you did a few months ago was it making fun of your girlfriend? Like what it's like when you meet the girlfriend for 6 months, or there was some
something like that. Yeah, maybe.
I
yeah.
peed my pants. I was watching that all night.
Yeah,
that was
thank you.
really funny.
Hell yeah, thanks. I like skits.
I think you were getting like texts from me like 1 in the morning, like, oh my God, I'm like laughing so hard right now. You're like,
yeah, I don't think I do enough though where it would be like a tangent where I'd have to get like 2 accounts, and even then I wouldn't even give a shit. Like, you know, I think I like looking at accounts where you just show people like, okay, this person does this, and also this person's really maybe quirky or weird, and they like building chairs or something, or
posting their cheeseburgers.
Yeah, or cheeseburger.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's kind of cool. I like an all-in-one kind of spot as opposed to having like 5 different accounts. Like, you know what I mean? I just think that's the way it is. And also, who knows what's going on with social media now? I don't know. I mean, it's depressing at times. Like I have to stay away from it.
What's depressing about it?
Just, well, I think I have a tendency to like compare myself to people on there all the time, or just wondering like okay, that person's doing this and I should put, you know, like and that's my own issue, you know what I mean? But I have to be aware of the fact that, you know, it's an app, and I'm sure we've all experienced that as human beings.
Yeah, well,
right?
that's called being a human.
Yeah,
you know?
there you go.
I think this guy is one of the few people I know that like doesn't give a shit about what anybody thinks. Huh?
You're cutting in and out.
Am I cutting in and out again?
That mic again.
Really? So you have that
This was
mentality where
working.
you have a really good kind of like, you know,
It's
I don't
not-
post in ghost, or I don't.
Yeah, it's not that I don't give a shit of what
Yeah.
people think. It's just that
But you look like it.
I do look like it.
You look good.
That's my
I think that you look
resting
good
face.
is what he's trying to
Excuse me.
say.
My
Jake,
face
take
just
over.
looks like I don't give a shit, you
What's
know.
that?
But
Take
anyway,
over.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like you tend to do stuff, and it's pretty funny though. I have to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, I laugh at myself too. I have to remind. I mean, I think I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I'm being fully honest in terms of.
That's the most important thing. I mean, if you enjoy doing it, and it's like. Yeah, man. I mean, don't worry too much about what people think. But yeah, you don't want to piss anybody off, or that's what you're saying. You don't.
Yeah, you don't like. I don't want to like say anything controversial, or fun, like fun. You know, the woke kind of culture where you could just get canceled at any moment. I guess.
Right.
I don't know, but you know, usually only people that are really in the big limelight have that issue. You know.
Really, yeah,
sure. For us regular, or for me regular folk here.
Us plebes.
Plebes. You gotta watch
out. You know, I went to the ER because I was really sick, and even that little trip, I was telling Jake about it. You know, I just got like sick. I got food poisoning. I had to go to the ER because I couldn't keep fluids down.
When was this?
On Saturday, but I was sick since Wednesday. Yeah, and I just had to go in on Saturday because I was like, "What the fuck's going on here?"
I was gonna say, you look like you've been working out.
I have been. Thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome. But I just going into there, it almost like, and it's cheesy, but it made me just realize, like, you know what, dude, you gotta like kind of just take care of yourself. You gotta like make yourself like you can't. No one cares. No one cares.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
No one cares.
People care, but like you just be, you know, do what you want to do. Be nice to people. Don't.
Yeah, that's important.
You know, like you know, it's everyone's just trying to get through the day. You know, and as fun, I'm trying to laugh as much as I can each day now. Like I'm just trying to. Because it's just stressful. I mean, I could take. Sometimes you take things
how do you feel right
seriously. Now? I feel really good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's good to see you guys. Like, it's good to be out of the house.
This was a special thing. I'm happy. Jake, how you doing? You feeling good, Jake?
Feeling great.
You feeling great?
Feeling great.
He's like,
what were you gonna say? You said I always feel.
Oh no,
like...
I said I always say like, you could take things seriously, but not yourself. You know, that's always my thing is like.
And then going to that that open mic on Tuesdays too is a great way to just not do that, to not take yourself so seriously, and also just look at people that are just trying new things and maybe it doesn't work, and then it makes you feel like, okay, I can try new things on my instrument.
Right.
It translates and it gives you a little bit more inspiration of like, you know what, dude, people are trying and sometimes it doesn't work, and that's like the fun part of it. And if you can just get past that kind of ego thing where, you know, because I struggle with that all the time.
Me too.
You know, I think everybody does, especially when you're in the art world.
I'm a big comedy fan, so.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite comedians?
I have lots. Yeah.
What's your like top three?
Number one right now. I mean, I like Tom Segura.
Yeah, me too.
Tommy
love him. I saw him on my birthday a couple years ago.
I have tickets to Neil Brennan next month.
Oh, okay,
too.
I don't know who that is.
He's the co-creator of the Chappelle Show with.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah, and then. Yeah, like
who's Joe Rogan's red-haired friend?
Andrew Santino. I've
He's
seen him
great.
a few times. Yeah, Whiskey Ginger podcast.
You know who I really like is Sam Morrill.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that guy, and he's
I
coming.
feel like I'm missing out over here.
He's coming to San Diego, and it's, you know, I'm trying to save some money with like these tickets and whatnot. Sometimes I get confused about like, do I want to go see this comedian because I know what his vibe is, and I know I'll get a certain section of him, just him, you know, in that situation. But I'm always every time I buy these tickets, I'm always, God, that went by really quickly, and you know, like I don't know, like I want to go to more of.
Do you have a problem with your bladder when you go to these shows?
I think I pee like easier than like I in any sensation I'm always like I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like to hold.
Well, you remember
I
us
don't
at
like to
Aldi
hold
Miele?
things. We drank quite a bit.
Is it me or are those seats way too close?
It was just a very like kind of I wanted to just enjoy the music more, and I felt very like we gotta be quiet.
Where was that?
Oh,
you know, and it was just so I wanted to. I like those gigs and those shows.
Oh, the Magnolia.
Jake, do you like going to the Magnolia where you have to sit down and kind of like sit at those shows?
I went to one show. It was Elvis Costello. It was a great show, but like, man, there was just. I'm a big dude, and I already have my insecurities about being in people's way, and
for
it just was like tight and like I wish.
Yeah.
I like to have it like where it's just like general. Like
I feel like though his gig when you saw Elvis Costello, we saw Aldi Miele very stripped down. It was very quiet.
Right.
It was even more quiet.
Yeah.
So it felt more like I can't drop anything here.
I know you can't like.
Can't even fart.
Yeah, can't even.
or be like.
They were pretty loud. So.
None of that.
Yeah, even if you just give a nice little clap, it's like kind of
rude or something.
Yeah, excuse me, we're listening to his composition. You know what I mean? And I get,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I mean, which is, we are, but it just felt kind of, oh, God, I can't do anything.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, I saw Al Di Meola. I mean, I can't complain about that. That guy's
Right.
Hey,
amazing.
man, that was a fun night.
That was cool. That was a lot of fun.
Let's get another song going.
Yeah, real quick, what's up with this blonde telly? There's a
Yeah.
butterscotch.
Well, this one,
lovely
I usually rock a Gibson 335, but see, it's kind of noisy too. But I think those are tellies in general. So sometimes, like when I play a gig, I'll put it behind my strap, and it'll keep it a little bit stronger.
Watch me fix it in real time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how you fix an American guitar. Go like this. Well, it's kind of hard because they have that dish, but you go in and out like three
Sounds
times.
a little.
Or you get the deoxit.
Yeah.
Well, we have that.
The deoxit cleaner is the one. I think it's.
Or
I think
we
it's
have-
working.
We got it was working a
There you
little
go.
bit, but we have
It did work.
deoxit. Well, hey, I have those magic hands. Nick.
I got this telly because first of all I like tellies, and then in the band that I was with at the time, somebody one of the group members recommended getting one too, and I was like, yeah, I want to get a telly regardless. And
They really sound great.
Yeah,
They sound
they're
killer
really
on this
cool.
amp.
yeah, I like it. Thanks. Yeah.
So
just get set up.
your lead tone is on. Go ahead
That's
and
what Jimmy Page played.
let me hear a
in-
chord
in
without the lead
first-
tone.
The
Yeah.
beginning of Led Zeppelin, he played a telly.
And your ooh, wow, that's an expensive chord. Can you tell the audience what this chord is? I was gonna say that sounds like an F.
Well, it's like a B flat major 7 over a D.
It's a B flat major 7 over a D. Pay attention, kids.
So
Because like you were like in the operative, like it's funny. I thought it was like this chord,
close, yeah.
but you're moving over.
Take your third finger off and then bring your pinky down to string 4. There you go.
Wow, what a nice.
It's kind of like the
Well,
Kurt
it's a flat too.
It's kind of like the Kurt Rosenwinkel. Kind of like the Kurt Rosenwinkel shape.
Well, I haven't had a compliment all day. I love that. Say that again.
Kurt Rosenwinkel.
Oh my God.
Do you know who Kurt Rosenwinkel
I just
is?
dropped my.
Yeah, I do.
I'm a big fan of that guy. But yeah, there's another instrumental one that I was thinking of is this one called Wish I Could Fly, and it's just essentially it's like an arpeggiation between a G major 7 and a G minor 7. I just go back and forth between the two, and then I do a little bit of a breakdown.
Which two chords again?
Well, it's just a G major 7
Very nice. Love that chord.
and then a G minor 7. But what makes it interesting though is arpeggiating it, which gives it kind of this like twinkle or this water droplet.
And then the minor third. Yeah, that's.
And what this made me realize was I was thinking, this was a riff that I was thinking about. Like, so I wanted to write an album and just put out some sounds that I was a fan of as a guitar player, regardless of maybe, I just liked that progression.
Absolutely.
And then also remind me of like Tame Impala, big fan of Tame Impala, where they do
Love
something
Tame Impala.
similar to that as well, where they kind of go back and forth between a major 7 tone,
also,
minor 7
the
tone.
intro of Game of Thrones does that.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cutting out again.
Yeah, but I'll bring this. I'll jam this
La la
through.
la la la. It's okay. We're gonna play. Turn this on.
Then here's the melody. Jake. Keep going, Jake. And then I'll do a little breakdown right here.
Fun, very cool.
It's really cool. You can do a lot of stuff with that. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Jake. See, I don't have to say anything to this guy. I just go. And he just knows exactly what to do. That's why this.
That's what he does.
That's another thing I was really happy. Jake, I'm happy to. It feels good playing with you. Dude.
Yeah, we haven't. That with the last.
It's been a while.
Should we talk about the gig? The last gig we played?
If you want to, yeah, go
I gotta
for
do
it.
a little
That's
tech
a funny
work.
story.
So we did this gig. When was it? It was like.
We gotta get a light on him.
Was that like December or something?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Was it?
It was a while back. Yeah, I think it was during when it was cold. It was
like
cold.
Late, it was late last year, and it was one of those kind of like. How should I put it? It was kind of like a.
It was like a do-it-yourself. It was a do-it-yourself little mini thing, right? Like, do it yourself. They did it their own. They like just went to this bar and.
Well, no, it was like at this kind of brewery, and it was like this dispensary. They had like, and they had the, like, this giveaway thing, and the. We were like we're about to. It was like up in Vista. I don't even remember the name of it, but
yeah, I've never been there. It was
the owner kind of freaked out because he saw like people were like smoking outside, and he like we were about to start. At first he goes, "Okay, it's you guys. It's this thing's like it's
like literally we literally set our stuff up.
Yeah, we're like setting our stuff up, and the guy goes, "Yeah, it's done." And we're like, "What?"
I know, right? And
like,
Jake had the funniest response though, because Jake was just like, like what are those?
That was a good impression.
The guy. I mean, I don't. The guy that put it on, this guy, and I don't mean to like throw shade, but he's like, "Okay, you guys can do like 3 songs." He's like, "And you'll still get paid." I'm like, "Okay, fine."
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, that's great, yeah.
So like,
but it was just kind of
bad because we all drove all the way up there, and it was like,
yeah, because we kind of wanted to play.
We wanted to play.
Yeah.
Like, you know how it is. Like, dude, 3 songs. Like, okay.
And you could tell that people dug it too. It was just one of those situations where it was maybe like the communication wasn't there, but it was like what I just ejected. That was pretty funny to me.
Well, I just felt bad because you guys drove all the way up there.
And the guy, the main guy was like getting a little aggro. He was like, yeah, we're done. And I'm like, this is the first time I'm hearing this. It's just funny like what human beings do. And then going back to the idea of like, you can't. For me, I like getting triggered by things like that. You just gotta even keel.
What does Bruce Lee say?
I don't know. Be like water.
Be like water.
Be like water.
That's our segue. Wonderful story into Guitar Lessonville.
Lessonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where if you guitar players out there, if you want to learn a little theory or learn some chops, we have the magnificent Mr. Costa here about to demonstrate or share some wisdom with you and myself. So I can't wait. What do you got for us? I don't care if it's a chord, a lick. What do you got for our audience?
I think, like for example, that one song, Wish I Could Fly, it's just based off 2 chords, G major 7, and then a G minor 7.
So like maybe suggesting for them to like loop that and practice, like, hey, play major.
Yeah, I mean,
in
in other words, sometimes, right, as musicians, I don't know about some musicians, but a lot of times, like when I'm teaching, people don't understand that you can, modulation and changing a key within this little circular center of colors, right? So there's, it's like, in other words, manipulating one chord in the one position to go to another color. And just as simple as that can create something that is desirable or not desirable depending on who the individual is.
It sounds good.
Yeah, so like objectively it sounds kind of dreamlike, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, somebody could probably be like, oh, that sounds very dreamy. But I guess what's fun about it as a guitar player is understanding what I'm doing with it, which is, okay, regular G major 7 chord, right? Sometimes we play it like this, or like this, or like this. Right? But if you get 2 octaves of an arpeggio, you get this kind of water droplet sound, which is, it doesn't sound like it's a square thing, even though you're outlining the chord. 1, 3, 5, major 7, 1, 3, 5, major 7, and then descending down.
That's my favorite part.
Right? So doing stuff like that kind of creates this, just this perfect little root, 1, 3, 5, major 7 right there. Right? So just things like that where you can take a boring chord and just make it sound a little bit more interesting by doing stuff like that. I think that's something that's good for guitar players or just anybody, where you could, and this is really pop stuff too, pop music, where it's just basic chord progressions, but they manipulate it in a way where it sounds like there's more going on. You know what I mean? Cool. So anyway. Right? And what happens when I change to that minor 7th, it gives it just another kind of water droplet color.
Very nice. Ooh.
Right? And then you can just get color it even more if you have someone like Jason playing bass. Great job. Thank you. And stuff like that, where you can, in other words, little things like that, where you just color a chord with simple arpeggiations. Another thing that I've noticed too is, and let me know if I'm over talking or if you're like, we got to go to the next segment or something. But
segments
or whatever it is that you guys do nowadays.
I know it's
So for example, I was,
we're still figuring that out.
We were jamming on manic depression, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a great theory practice, because it's manic, just kind of going back and forth between an A major to a G major. Manic depression is losing my source. Something like that, right? But what they're doing is arpeggiating just the triad, the 1, 3, 5. So Jimi Hendrix right there is taking what is a boring progression making it even more interesting by just doing simple arpeggiation. So there's different ways to do it. You see more.
That's how I play it.
You see more shred guitar players do a spread out version, which is like 3 notes on a string, right? But you can also see. Here's the thing: is as guitar players. Yeah, and then so playing it multiple ways, right? Here's another thing that I try to tell guitar players is. Imagine someone listening to a song, listening to the riff, but you're changing the way you're playing it. They won't know it. That's a good skill. I might change my riff. Now I'm going to change the way I play it. You see how I changed my fingering on that? But nobody would notice that if they were listening. So in other words, being able to just address different ways of playing something is another good skill. Not to mention octaves. Okay? Doing octaves and knowing those plates too, which is hard. Sometimes for me, I'm like, where the fuck is that A, or, sorry, excuse my language, my bad, sorry. But yeah, well, I guess we can't curse too much.
We can cuss.
But that's what I try to say is like, these are songs like that where you can just understand, okay, this guy's taking basic chord progression, but he's arpeggiating, meaning, for those that don't know, an arpeggiation is just outlining a chord from its scale degrees. In other words, what makes the chord, the harmony, the multiple notes.
That's probably the best that's ever been explained in this room.
Right? Boom. Give me a medal. No.
I always take the long walk with my students.
So, things like that where I try to figure out a way, I try to think of situations that I'm going to be in where someone's like, no, play that an octave higher. And then I'm like, oh God, I got it. Where are those notes? In other words, it forces you to realize where are your notes on the guitar and also how do you play the same thing in a different way? How do you take a boring chord, not a boring chord, G major 7, beautiful,
My favorite chord.
The D minor 7 is the saddest one of all.
It's the saddest key.
It's the saddest key.
It's the saddest key.
What movie is that from? That's
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. Anyway, so taking ways where you can just make it more interesting. Stuff like that where you just kind of... Yeah, you just take it and just add some extra flavors. Stuff like that. That's really... And all I do is learn songs and try to teach students how to play it well, or either I perform it well,
Yeah.
Or I try to perform it well myself. So, the more you learn, the more songs you learn, the more you learn about some of the classic licks and ways to do things. And it's the classic thing of just you transcribe stuff, you start learning things.
Indeed.
So,
very good. Very good explanation. So that's the guitar lesson segment of Theory Thursday tonight. Thank you, Nick. That was very
for sure.
It's very articulate.
Right on.
Anything else you want to promote?
Yeah.
Websites?
We got any gigs coming up? Because I know you gig with him.
I do. Yeah, I mean, I would love to. Hopefully, me and Jake can play again soon. I know Jake does. He's been busy with. I think you got Iota coming up this Saturday somewhere. Hobnob Hill.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I might check that out because that's in my hood, Bankers Hill. I got a gig at Tin Roof next Friday with a singer named Faith Bell, and I just started working. They hit me up to do some guitar stuff with
For
them.
you, that's a good gig. They
And
pay
then-
well, and I've been there. I watched. I went out recently to go see Ash Easton. I think she's
Okay,
cool.
okay.
She's got a great voice. Her boyfriend, the guitar player, very cool.
Cool.
Steven, I hung out with him for a night.
Oh, right on.
But more, Tin Roof. Cool,
Sure.
Cool
Yeah, I
place.
mean, it's like another. Yeah, it's those 3-hour hits nonstop, no breaks. So
That's tough.
good and bad. And then on that, I just do these cover band gigs. Lucky Devils, wedding gigs, and corporate gig stuff.
Cool.
So other than that, I'm just trying to make money and pay the rent here in expensive San Diego, California.
Well, you certainly are a fixture here in San Diego. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too.
A third of the people I know who you are.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
That's great.
You do get mentioned in this room from time to time when it comes to
Oh, well, that's nice.
some of the lessons that are happening, or
That's nice to hear.
In context of
Sure.
like, what are you doing tonight? Like, I'm gonna go watch My Mind.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm like, hey, I know that guy.
I know-
Practice your major scale before you get there.
No, that's great. Yeah, I love connecting with all the musicians in town. Yeah, that's a great thing.
Well, now that I have the show back, I'm not going. Is it still sucking?
It's
just
power
sucky.
through it.
Suck. Here, go ahead. How about this?
That's way better.
Is this better?
If it's on, sure.
I mean, that thing, it's like, why haven't you been using that? That thing's so cool.
Well, you know,
Right?
this wasn't screwing me last week, but I was just gonna say that now that I have the show back, I'm not going anywhere.
We're not leaving.
I will just resume here, teaching, taking care of my dog, and probably getting back to a regular ordinance of, you know, booking people out, 4 to 6 weeks in a row, you know, just trying to get people.
Who's your next guest? You have somebody else coming up? Or
you know, I'm sort of
flying by the seat of your pants? Got it. Love it. That's
so
great.
next week's a surprise guest.
Cool.
Still sucking.
I won't be here next week.
You won't be here?
No. What are we going to do with the mics?
I'm in Mexico.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, let's hope we have
Mexico.
this mic situation.
Shannon.
Shannon, yes. Thank you, Shannon, for sitting in.
Why don't we introduce Shannon to the people?
Jump in head first.
So yeah, I mean, we do have a new person observing the show, hopefully choosing to help in the future. And if she doesn't, that's okay. But I'm kind of getting the idea that you like what's going on a little bit. You like the vibe?
Yeah.
Well, you know.
It's all about the vibes.
It's all about the
You were
vibes.
danced a little bit before it. I was like, that was a good.
Well, there's I think everyone in this room knows that there's every Thursday is when the Gremlins come out. I don't need this thing anymore, right?
I have a gremlin.
If Jake comes here, we're all going to be
It's
here.
fine right now.
Wherever Jake goes, we go.
Oh, it's fine right now? It was. Now, would you turn it off?
Well, I think this is at the tail end of our lesson. This is the part of the show where, like Jason was asking, you get to plug yourself.
She did.
You did.
Yeah, Nick,
Jake?
check out. I don't think I properly did.
Yeah,
Check out
Hit your socials.
Nick Costa, but I do have a solo studio project called My Mind, MYND, spelled wrong. But yeah, feel free to listen to some of these tracks on whatever platform you listen to your music, and then also I'm on Instagram, or you know, if you want to connect that way, feel free to do it. And thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Jake, thank you for sitting in tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Jake.
So
What do you got going on, Jake?
I know.
Well, can we get a
All
light
kinds
on?
of stuff.
He's got Iota coming up on
Yeah,
Saturday.
busy
Another.
weekend of gigs.
Do those plugs, Jake.
Playing at Prohibition tomorrow night with Jenny and the Tramps. Saturday night at Hobnob Hill
Oh, okay.
in
right.
Bakershill.
They have great hollandaise sauce. Is it hollandaise? Hollandaise?
Hollandaise.
Hollandaise.
Is it hollandaise
Honda
sauce?
sauce.
Honda.
Holidays?
E Honda.
But anyhow, I love that restaurant with
Yeah,
the
it's
great
good.
hollandaise sauce.
Honda sauce.
Sorry,
That's
Jake.
holidays.
I'm
That's
sorry,
holidays.
Can we let the man finish, please?
Hollandaise in the Sun.
Is that the new Weezer track?
Yeah.
I'm going to see Weezer. Are you going to go see Weezer?
But no, Iota, hollandaise sauce. What else you got? Anything happening with? You've been doing a lot of gigs lately.
He does a lot of gigs every.
That's just what it is.
Me and him are going to go get a pedicure on Sunday. Right?
Ooh, I want to film that.
Are we?
Yeah, dude.
Can
You
I bring?
remember?
On
Can I?
Sunday?
Yeah. Wait, it's Easter.
You guys do that?
You don't remember? We're going to go to church and then get our pedicures,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, totally.
Yeah. Come on, man.
God, I thought I was the
Spa
emotional
day.
one.
Remember, we're getting Easter colors on our.
Spa day.
Yeah.
What is Easter colors? Yellow and
Like-
lavender.
Yellow
And
pink,
lavender.
and-
We're going to
Maybe-
eat peeps.
I can't believe you
Exactly. I
forgot it,
was
dude.
just gonna say that's the graphic you're gonna get on your toes. The
He's
peeps.
so busy he forgets what we planned 2 weeks ago. Can you believe that?
Hey man, you
I'm
know,
just-
some of us
I'm just an
we're getting a little bit
a-hole.
better on our instruments, but you know we can't remember what happened with our social life. You know, it's just what's happening.
Yeah, I guess so.
On that note, we have a Patreon account. We're going to be advancing it, but hey, if you love this show and you want to help support it, it helps me pay Dave.
Support Mike
Well, I got to pay Dave.
and support everybody
So-
else that is helping
And
out
then,
here.
you know, once eventually Shannon gets her
Shut
shit
the hell
together,
up,
we
Nick.
start paying her. But we do have a Patreon account. I love Mad Hatter Guitar Products. I do love Kurt Mangan Strings. Those are the 9.5s. Mr. Guitar Lessons and Theory Thursday. They have shops where you can purchase these items that Jason and I have put a lot of time in going, what should we do? What gauge should it be? Should we use Nick's color? Should we? I'm just kidding.
That's really cool,
I
man.
know, right? Well, we're trying to aim to please,
Yeah.
make people like you feel good. The whole purpose of this show is to remind you about this guy. Our job, Jason and I and SWR, is to let San Diego know who are the best musicians or best guitar players in town, and you get to hear them describe their motives. That's something you don't get to do when you're out at the bar or the restaurant paying to watch them entertain you. Because most of you don't have the guts to go up and talk to them. Right?
You know, I think a lot of people, I've done that, where you just, yeah, I don't want to bug them.
Well,
But-
that's why this
But
show
like
exists.
people really like
'Cause
that.
I get to
people
bug you
like that.
sometimes, yeah.
They like to hear. Thank you. I enjoyed my experience. Yeah. I guess unless you're Chuck Berry, right? He didn't like that.
Was that a joke?
No, Chuck Berry. He didn't. I think the one singer from AC/DC said he's like, I went up to Chuck Berry. He's Australian, right?
Yes.
And he's like, you so fucking mean, or so. I can't do.
I
it
have
good.
a similar story
But I
with
just
Buddy
remember.
Guy.
I just remember.
Yeah, it
Like I
reminds
think
me.
some people are like that though, for sure. That's just a random story though that stuck with me.
Well, I think this is the better hour to do the show. Don't you think it's a little easier coming down here? And parking does suck. but,
Parking sucks.
You know, getting ready, taking time, getting the room ready. You know, moseying in, having the dog say hello to us, and then sitting in this room and finally getting a little warm up. Tune in next week to
Mr. Guest.
a mystery guest, but I think 8 p.m. is going to be where we're going to be living,
All right.
and we'll be, doing the wonky angle like this on Facebook, and then next time Dave comes back, we're going to do the simulcast. But more importantly, Theory Thursday's back. I'm happy. You're happy. Stay with us. We'll see you next week, and you're going to take us out with a song. But before you do that, back to Jason Thomas and say goodbye to who you guys say goodbye to.
Yes, well, everybody that's watching and everybody that will watch in the next couple of days, again, thank you for coming in. Much appreciated to see you.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Jake. And nice to see you again, Mr. Dave. And nice to meet you. It's going to be good. Yeah, thank the sponsors, and we'll see you next week. Be safe. Take it away.
Oh,
Mr.
and I still love Purple Plectrum. Corey, if you're watching, I'm going to call you tomorrow.